Hello and welcome to the second episode of the sketchbook tour. Wait, no, it's not called that anymore. It's called Rough Stuff. There's an artist who's using the title Sketchbook Tour for his walkthrough videos, and I decided to change my title to Rough Stuff because I felt it was more fitting for my brand. I use that hashtag a lot during Instagram posts. Let's dive in. This is a tiny sketchbook. This is a little Jimmy John's napkin that I would use to blot watercolor or ink if my medium was wet. That sounds dirty, but I would use this as a blocker too, or like a page bookmark. So I worked on this sketchbook from November 9th, 2018 to November 9th, 2019. So I had this book for a whole year. This was more of a travel sketchbook. I would take it with me, especially when I did not want to lug around a ton of cardboard. So I started here with Hellboy. I got a little Donald Sutherland from Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I would draw a lot on planes. Whenever I would travel, I would pull this sketchbook out and I would sort of draw people around me. There's the girl with the dragon tattoo. There's the Grinch. We're still here in November. I like this thumbs down. I'm clever. That was clever. There's Dolph Lundgren. The great Stan Lee. And here's my friend Allie. Whenever I would always draw Allie in my sketchbook. It sort of became a tradition because we would hang out a lot, and we would sit across from each other, and I would just draw her whether she was on Instagram posting something or working on some art. So I found this website that had a ton of life drawing photos, and it had an application where you can set the photos to change every 2 minutes or every 5 minutes or every 10 minutes. And it was a really good way to practice movement and anatomy and find shapes in the body to help, get these gestures down. And it was really good practice for me. And you can also have the option to have the model with props or without props, and it was like this catalog of like 3,000 plus life drawing photos. So I found this website and I started doing these gesture drawings. Sometimes I would change the time limit and I would just focus on certain body parts, which I think was also an option to do as well. You could focus on hands or feet. Really, I would just throw this on my phone and then just start moving the pencil or the pen. Another thing that I started doing with these was just the composition. So I'd start somewhere and see how much I can fit on the page. So these were 5-minute gestures. There's a Miles Morales. These were also 5-minute gestures. So I was doing this a lot in January. I clearly had a lot of free time on my hand, I guess. I Am a Hero. This was a zombie movie that I had watched. I guess it's based off a manga, but it was pretty good. There's Venom. I like the Venom movie. A lot of people give it crap, but I thought it was, for what it was. It was good B movie fun. Fuel Cafe. So this was in Wisconsin, and this was at a coffee shop called the Fuel Cafe, and I sat around and drew people there. This was a really fun and loose ghostwriter. Just more people watching, And then this was a whole section of faces, I think. I was doing faces. That's Frankenstein, I think. There's my friend Tressa. So this was C2E2, I think. Oh no, actually she came for a visit. Oh, was this C2E2? I don't know. But anyways, she wanted to hang out, do a mini vacation. And she came to Chicago during the winter. And people asked her why. Cruella de Vil. So we're getting towards February here. More faces. These were like watercolor studies. I think I got a new watercolor set actually, and I was just playing around with the colors, and I really liked how this turned out. Yep, more people watching, more playing around with my new watercolor set. Here's a painting I tried to recreate from a doctor's office, I think. I started doing this thing where I wanted to lay down blocks of color just randomly and then try and draw over it. So that's why the colors would bleed out, is because I would just make a bunch of squares and then fill in the gaps with the ink and see if I could get something. See, there's Allie again. See if I could do like a little piece around the art. So it was like almost working in reverse, where I would lay out the color blocks and then fill the shapes in later. So that was always fun to do. This was my rough stuff for the Stranger Things piece that I did for the art book that came out recently. So it pretty much stayed true to form. Then here was Ghostbusters. I was working out the rough stuff for Ghostbusters. Here's another look at the Stranger Things piece. That's another look at the Ghostbusters piece. Also printed, also published by Printed in Blood. I wanted to do something about crossing the streams and then like using each section here as a place to put the villains of the movie, which I thought were was my favorite aspect of the movie. This piece was for the C2E2 charity auction. This was an Incredibles piece, and I might do like the side by side. I'll put them like next to each other so you can see what the finished product looked like. We're into March here. This was more experimentation of the color blocks and then like filling in the gaps. And then just more people watching. So this is a series of concepts for a monster book that I want to make. And that's like one of the creatures. Like a creature feature. So, you know, with the murder book, I did like my slasher movie, and like the next horror book I want to do is like a creature feature. It's Terminator. Yeah, see more of these weird things. There's Allie again, and now we are in, oh geez, look at that, I can't even write. Is that June? Yeah, that's June 12th, so this is the day before my birthday. I hung out with Allie, and then here's my actual birthday, just super loose. And July. Laundry day. Stuff. This looks like panel layouts. Okay, so these were panel layouts for Juju and the Jelly Squid, which actually dropped on Patreon not too long ago. And these were like concepts for figuring out what the Jelly Squid would look like. Oh, and then I do this a lot too. A little check mark here, because I like it. See, okay, so I would take this on planes, and then I would take this on the road. And then this is me drawing while riding shotgun. And it's very loose, huge blocks of ink, because the car's moving. So it's not as stable as when I'm drawing on a plane. That is a taco. I bet this was on our way to Kentucky, and I think we stopped in Indiana, and there's a place in Indiana called the Tamale Place, which is amazing. And so I probably just drew that. There's Jim Steranko. Oh, and then food. So does this look like dress or her knees? It's confusing, right? I don't know. The photo I was working off of was not great. Now this is rough stuff for Juju and the Frankenslime of Time. Here is the ingredients that my niece Juju gave me for slime. It's glue, baking soda, contact solution, lotion, and dye. All gross things. And then originally the slime had a clock for a face, but then that changed. Now we're in October, so we're almost done with this sketchbook here. I don't know who that is. That what's his name? Alice Cooper? I think that's Alice Cooper. There's a Demogorgon. I think that was supposed to be Nick Miller. Hush, that very famous Buffy episode. Was creepy. So this will, if you flash back to one of my earlier videos, I was using this sketchbook as a way to test out new art snack supplies. So that's what this is. Check that out. We ended on a Hellboy. So we started with a Ron Perlman Hellboy and ended on the David Harbour Hellboy. And I think this was using some of those new art snack supplies that I got over here. Fancy. So that is the rough stuff from November to November 2018 and 2019. Until the next episode, I hope you enjoyed a look at my creative process.